This man is crazy. It's a vase worth millions of dollars. He didn't hesitate to smash it into pieces, just to pick out two similar pieces of glass among the fragments. Then he wrapped the edges of the glass with a strip of cloth. And then he came out with simple sunglasses. Then he climbed 6 meters to the ceiling. In his left hand, he held a sharpening rod. In his right hand, a spoon. He began to dismantle it. His idea was simple. He was going to remove the blast glass, so he could escape from the mansion through the ceiling. As the dust slowly fell, the sunglasses he had made would be of great help. But as he chiseled, he realized something was wrong. In addition to the cement on the outside, there were screws on the inside. The hope he had raised was dashed. But after removing the entire frame, he found a row of screws inside. You can see from his face, he was really helpless. The temperature had already reached 6 degrees. He could only curl up under the quilt, eating cold food. At that moment, suddenly, the surveillance camera turned on. He turned his head and found that the cleaner from earlier was cleaning the door. Nemo rushed to the door and screamed for help and banging on the door. But the soundproofing of the door was too good. The cleaner couldn't hear him, so he tried to stick the note out for the woman to find. But to his surprise, there was no gap underneath. So he picked up the pan and threw it at the door again. But no matter how hard he tried, it didn't work until the cleaner left in the lift again. He leaned against the door in despair and gasped for breath. Then he went back into the living room and collapsed on the sofa, exhausted. Within days his food was finally gone, and the temperature went from cool to warm. But if he continued to sit and wait, sooner or later, he would starve to death. So he regained his confidence. He dismantled the chair. Then with a knife, he carefully dug out a groove. And finally, he made a wrench-like tool, and to his surprise, that the tool he made on the spur of the moment, he could actually unscrew the screws. But just as he was about to unscrew the second one, the spanner cracked. But he didn't give up and made another one. He thought it would go well, but then an accident happened. He fell from a high shelf. He rushed to use a simple bandage with a tool to maintain normal walking. But as he walked, he noticed the smoke detectors on the ceiling. An idea came into his head. He tore the paper into pieces and put them in a bowl. Then he used a magnifying glass to focus on the paper and set it on fire. He poured white wine onto a cloth he'd prepared in advance. When the torch was lit, he limped into the kitchen. Then he climbed up to the stove with all his strength. He held the torch up to the smoke detector and burned it. The smoke detectors, sensing the fire, immediately activated the fire extinguishing mode. The whole mansion was instantly covered in rain. Nemo took this opportunity to go to the door and call for help, but no one answered. Obviously, he was wrong. When the rain stopped, the mansion was covered in water. It seemed the only way to get out was to unscrew all the screws in the bulletproof glass. After much effort, he placed 12 screws neatly on the sofa. Finally, he was able to remove the security glass. But before leaving, he left a copy of his apology on the wall. Then he climbed up on a high shelf and escaped through a window in the ceiling.